Hello and welcome to another Daily Present. And my name is John Ball. I am from Present Influence, and you can come find out more about me on presentinfluence.com or follow me online. Particularly, the best place to follow me, other than LinkedIn, is going to be probably YouTube or Facebook. So find me on YouTube. You can find my whole channel. Let's make sure we get this. So putting exactly the wrong thing on. So you can find me on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook. And if you want to come and connect with me, particularly on YouTube, I should say, then come and find my channel. It's Present Influence. And here you go. Here's how to do that. So look for Present Influence, give us a like, click subscribe, and click that bell icon, and you will get notified of any up-and-coming videos, anything that is going live. Today, I am taking a few minutes to talk about introversion and whether being introverted is a weakness or a strength, particularly when it comes to things like presentation skills and public speaking. So that's today's topic for the Daily Present. See you after the titles. Okay, so welcome back, and today I am talking about whether introversion is a weakness or a strength, particularly when it comes to things like presentation skills and public speaking. Now, I would classify myself as an introvert very much, and my natural tendency is introversion. I've talked about it many times on my podcasts, and I've talked about it before in other live streams as well. And I think the majority of people who I encounter in the world of public speaking and presentation skills are also introverts themselves. But there are definitely extroverts, and I think introverted people often end up being a bit jealous of extroverted people simply because it seems so much easier for them. It's like there's little resistance to going up on a stage or a platform and talking and entertaining and being loud and out there and engaging people in what you're doing. It's like it comes very easily to people who are naturally extroverted, who love that connection stuff. They love being in the spotlight, and that's great. But there's a lot of power in introversion as well. And in my experience as a coach, not just as a trainer and a speaker, but in my experience as a coach, one of the great powers of introverted people is being able to really, really listen without thinking about what you're going to say next, but really thinking about, well, what could be the right question to ask here, or what's the best approach or response to what's going on. And that's a really powerful skill to have on a platform as well. If you are teaching, engaging, and speaking in public, there may be times, especially if you're doing workshops and trainings, where you have people who need a bit of coaching, and you may do that from the stage if it's appropriate to do so. And because you end up coaching everybody, not just one person. So think about it in those terms, like being able to really listen and utilize those skills that you may have already naturally developed from being perhaps more of a listener than a speaker, which is often the way. That's going to be really useful for you. So it's a real tool in your tool belt. It's a real superpower to have as a speaker and a presenter. So listen really well to what people are saying and utilize that skill. Step out of the introversion. The thing is, I don't think we're stuck being introverted. Like, if you are naturally an introvert, don't worry too much about it. It doesn't have to be something that holds you back. For me, for a long time it was. And I think for many people probably find themselves in similar situations of feeling, well, I don't really want to be seen. I don't want to put myself in that position where I'm in front of loads of people and they're going to see me, they're going to be looking to me, they're going to be listening to me. It feels like a lot of pressure. Is that really what I want to do to myself? And often we'll say, no, I'd rather just sort of go home and snuggle up on the sofa, put a nice TV show on and have a glass of wine or a cup of tea or whatever it is you fancy. That's an easy way through. But if we don't challenge ourselves to push through these things, if we don't challenge ourselves to overcome sometimes the excuses we give ourselves not to push further ahead, then we may find ourselves in a rut and repeating the same cycles that don't progress us or advance us again and again. So if you feel that you are naturally introverted, I would say don't have to feel stuck there. My experience has been I now tend to describe myself more as, whilst I'm a natural introvert, I am more of an ambivert now because I have learned to enjoy being more extroverted. I have learned that that gives me a greater flexibility and emotional range when I'm speaking and presenting than if I'm trying to hold back or be too calm, too peaceful, or too much of anything, trying to keep myself within a certain level of not being too much for people. That I want to have full range. I want to have full flexibility. And that's where introversion can be a weakness because it can hold you back. But I think the reality is it's only going to hold you back if you allow it to hold you back. So if you actually make the decision of, okay, well, I'm introverted and I prefer being by myself. I like my own company. I like quiet evenings in by myself or with my partner or whatever it is. But don't really want to be out there. I don't really want to be that sort of loud, fun, wild kind of extroverted person. You go with whatever you're comfortable with, but I say keep pushing the boundaries here. If you think that being introverted may be holding you back in some ways, it is up to you to challenge that, because nobody is going to come and pluck you out of obscurity and say, I see hidden potential in you and we're going to turn you into a world-class speaker. That's probably not going to happen. Maybe it's happened to somebody. I'd love to hear if that's your story. You've been plucked out of a crowd and shot to fame and stardom because somebody saw potential in you when you didn't. I would definitely like to hear about that. But for most people, probably the vast majority of people, that's never going to happen. So any ideas that we have that other people are going to solve this for us, or we're going to be rescued from our inner world and pulled out of our introversion, we should get over that pretty quick and understand if there's going to be change, it has to come from within. But when you do make that decision, when you do decide that I'm going to put myself out there, maybe I can have things to say, perhaps I can make a difference in people's lives, perhaps I can at least be entertaining or teaching something really powerful and useful, and take to any kind of platform, live or virtual, video or a live stream like this, then you can do things that are very important. You can speak to people, you can get messages out there, you can tell your story, you can perhaps help in a way that you may not even know how to do right now. Even if you're thinking, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, or I don't know if I could do that, do it anyway. If you think it could be in you, or you think you might even want to do it, push yourself to at least try. Maybe go and try a Toastmasters club. Most of them are online right now, so you can attend a Toastmasters club pretty much anywhere. So if you don't want to do one in your local area where people might recognize you, or if that's what you're worried about, go and try a different one. Go and be online. Maybe just sit in on your first experience. Or if you're like me, push yourself to do the table topics and the improvised speaking, because even though your first time is probably going to be terrible, might not be, but it probably will be. Even though, do it anyway and let it be terrible. Be okay with that and understand that the next time you do it is going to be better. Don't let this fear of what other people may think of you or messing it up be the thing that holds you back. Do it anyway. Get yourself out there. So if you find yourself in a Toastmasters club or something like that, and they're doing table topics and they're inviting people from the audience, inviting guests to come and participate, then put yourself forward. Say, okay, I'll do it. And know that it's probably going to be terrible your very first time, and be okay with that. Just know, okay, it's probably going to be terrible, but let's do it anyway. Have fun with it as best you can. But the next time you do it, and the time after that, and then if you join and start doing actual planned speeches and stuff, it's going to be an amazing journey. The one thing that nobody really, or maybe they did tell me, but maybe I didn't hear it, on the start of my journey into public speaking, what I didn't realize was how much of a personal transformation that this journey was going to give me. Now, I got into public speaking presentation skills because I thought it could make a big difference to many other people. Like, I can talk about stuff that I'm passionate about and maybe share things. I love coaching, I love personal development. Perhaps there's a lot there that might help other people as well. But this journey has helped me in ways that I could never have expected, that I know I'm very different from when I first started. And anyone who maybe met me in my early days of being a coach and a speaker would be able to tell you this. There is a huge difference, worlds apart from where we are now. But so much of that is experience and growth and pushing the boundaries and pushing out of my natural tendency to introversion and saying, I have to keep challenging that. I have to keep myself out there and connecting with people and caring about connecting with people as well, because that's what gets me from being sort of introverted into being more extroverted, which is really where things need to be. And so whether you're introvert or extrovert, you can do amazing things. Taking a stage at any kind of platform, create your own or get in other people's platforms, just get started and be okay with it not being great when you first get started. Do it anyway. Pick something to talk about. Watch a few videos about public speaking, watch a few TED Talks, get some ideas about how to present yourself, and get along to a Toastmasters club if you possibly can. It's one of the best ways to get yourself started and be in an environment with other people who are doing presentation skills and public speaking. It's an international environment as well, so it's going to connect you into a worldwide network of speakers from all sorts of levels, people who are just starting out as you might be, or people who may be advanced as you may be as well. So you will always have somewhere to go to and people to look up to and help pull you along, guide you along the way, mentor you, and give you what you need to be able to turn things up, and the feedback and encouragement to develop yourself in the ways that are going to make the biggest impact for what you want to do and put out there. So that's pretty much it in terms of whether introversion is a weakness or a strength. It can be both, and I think it's up to you. So if you want introversion to be a weakness, if you want it to be your excuse that allows you to hold yourself back and keep yourself small, then it can be that. If you want it to be a strength and you want it to be the reason why you push those boundaries and keep pushing yourself out there to do things and get yourself in uncomfortable situations, maybe in front of a camera or maybe in front of a live audience, or speaking up on that Zoom meeting that you would otherwise keep quiet on, or something like that, push yourself to do it. Get out of your comfort zone into the discomfort zone, make some things happen, and you will see change will start to happen. The more you do that, the more you push yourself. What was uncomfortable before will become comfortable. Join me tomorrow if you possibly can, not just for my daily present. If you're online and you happen to see me, come and join me. But I will be speaking to a lady called Lauren Waldman. She's known as the Learning Pirate. It's going to be a live show of the Speaking of Influence podcast. Lauren has been a guest before. She's incredible. What she does is she's translating neuroscience, latest developments in neuroscience, into understandable information for people like you and I, who maybe are creating courses, doing public speaking, teaching in some kind of format that we can understand the best ways to teach according to the latest research and the best ways to understand as well. So both as a teacher and a learner, there's a lot to gain from Lauren. If you have questions for her about neuroscience research into learning and education, then please join us live for the show. You can ask the questions there, or you can, if you see the promo for the show, you can type your questions in there in advance. And whatever good questions I see in there, I will put to Lauren as well. If you can join us live on the show, you can get to ask Lauren live on the show yourself. So join me for Speaking of Influence live tomorrow. Look for the promos for that, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. You'll get to join it. If you can't join us live, please watch the replay. It's going to be a great show, lining up really loads and loads of amazing guests on the show, as well as the New Points of Change show. So don't skip a beat. Make sure you join us for all of it. I'll see you soon. See you tomorrow for another Daily Present.